So I wanted to do an update on my eczema and my TSW symptoms because I've had a lot of comments on that previous videos. So I kind of wanted to level set where am I with this information, which is why I am fresh-faced today showing you guys where I currently am with my symptoms. So I wanted to show you guys where I am currently with my symptoms. How long have I been in a flare? Where am I at? What does everything mean? So in end of summer, maybe midsummer, July, August, somewhere in there, I had produced a rash across my chest, these crazy little like rosettes, which if I had just done a little bit of research, would have found out it would have had just taken care of itself. So I used a couple of drops of hydrocortisone cream and it sent me into an initial flare. Before that, I was in a topical steroid withdrawal, i.e. I wasn't using them for over 6.5 years, and 2 drops of hydrocortisone cream just went crazy. So now I am in September, October, November, December, January. I'm 5, maybe closer to 6 months, maybe plus 6 months in a flare. And I say flare still because I still do have elephant skin. So you see how it wrinkles up and the coloration's a little off, like even against my face, I'm still quite pink. Should have probably worn a different color, but I have elephant skin still, and on my legs I'm still broken out as well, but I'm doing a lot better, and I equate me showing some real heavy progress over the last month or two to me changing my diet. So changing my diet, what did I do? I actually went into researching a lot about it before I tried it because I hate doing bandwagon stuff, but I started on the carnivore diet, and I would say me and my husband transitioned about a week or so, kind of slowly getting into the carnivore diet. I will link a couple of channels for you. Dr. Barry, he is a family practitioner, so he is an active doctor who is really on board with keto carnivore, and I also follow some nutritionists. Like, I just geeked out on the science and medical side of it so that I knew what I was getting into when I started carnivore. But basically, long story short, carnivore is eating animal products only. So your meats, your butters, you can have dairy if you're tolerant of it, and minimal spices. So we were doing that about a month, and probably within a couple of weeks of starting carnivore, my skin just flourished. So it did really, really well. A lot of the problems I was having kind of healed up a lot faster, and had a lot of good physical manifestations. I got better. Pain in my joints was less. Skin was showing not only rapid improvement, but the healing of it was showing some good, like if I had a scab, then it was healing a lot faster. Good consistent energy. And so we were doing that since mid-January. So we've been over a month, probably a month and a half now, we've been carnivore, and we have done non-carnivore things. When we hit about 30 days, we wanted to kind of have some of that as well. So yeah, we've done some carnivore, or we're focused on staying carnivore and not drinking sodas or teas, or I do drink coffee, so does my husband. But he's doing it more just to facilitate me, to make me feel better about it. He really likes it as well. I am trying to introduce a few things back just to see if it bothers me, if I'm having any problems. I'm assuming carbs and sugars are going to always be problematic for me, and I just mean they just cause inflammation because of the sugars. So I've noticed that I do have some dry spots, but ultimately my skin's still doing fairly well. But I think introducing some of those sugars and carbs back in is definitely making my skin struggle a little bit harder than it should. In this time frame. So I'm still trying to stay carnivore, keep it clean as much as I can, to see the progress, hopefully. So, I mean, with TSW, it's kind of like in my head, maybe I'm starting brand new again as an initial flare, because that's really what happened to me. Those 2 drops of cortisone cream just sent my body into a straight initial flare. I mean, 5-6 months and I'm still flaring. That's a big deal. Now, I didn't have a really traumatic original TSW. My first year was pretty hard, but I feel like there's been things in this time that have been equally as hard that I didn't have the first time. Like my legs, my shins broke out, swole a lot more this time. Never did that the original time. They broke out, but they didn't swell up. They weren't so painful. The neck and ear sweating where I couldn't like hardly touch anything, that was kind of a newer symptom this time around. Things like that, but then all the other stuff that was common with TSW, with the skin and dysregulation for body temperature, terrible sleep, terrible mood, you know, all the same things. So I'm hoping now I'm going to kind of cycle back out of it. And it's tough. Like, how do you tell someone you're 7 years TSW, but you're really only 6 months TSW because you stupidly put on a cortisone cream? So that's kind of a quick overview of where I stand right now. 6 months in, I'm doing a lot better. Still have, you know, remnants of problems, but far, far better. I have been able to wear makeup and it wasn't too bothersome for me. So I just looking forward to when the weather is improving, because I live up in Maine. So that is the north side of the United States for anyone who is not familiar with the USA. So it's cold right now, and so that definitely makes healing harder because you're constantly dry skin. Moisturizers, I do moisturize as needed. I don't put a ton on because my skin is now tough enough to deal with just feeling dry and itchy. So I don't slather myself into too much with skin. I do face masks to help with the peeling a little bit. I'm gonna try to work back into my facial routines, you know, washing my face at night and doing all the products like collagen and whatever, and hopefully it will tolerate that okay and not be too frustrated at me trying to put stuff back on my face. But moisturizers, I'm really not doing a whole lot with them right now. I do have them. I still take baths, but not as regularly. I was taking them every single day because it was the only comfort I had. It was a stress reducer. But now it's more of a spa type of situation. I'm going to have a bath because I just want to relax, you know? So that's kind of nice, but I am still using mineral salts or Dead Sea salts. I am using apple cider vinegar with the mother. Those are my two components right now when it comes to a bath. Otherwise, I'm just taking showers as normal, trying not to do too often. Excuse me. So I think that my body is definitely liking the carnivore diet, and I would highly suggest anybody who is watching this, for your skin, whether it's eczema, TSW, whatever you want to call it, research the carnivore diet. I definitely am surprised at how well it worked for me, and anecdotally all the other things it can help you with. So research it. It's really not hard. Basically, you just eat until you're full. You don't have these little baby portions of food. You eat till you're full, and you make sure you have lots of good healthy fats, because the fats are what are really helping your body like re-energize, fix the hormones. Proteins are obviously good for you, but the fats do so much for you. So definitely look that up, do a little research, and I'll try to answer any questions I can as best I can. I am definitely not clinical. I happen to be in the medical world and insurance and stuff like that, but not clinical by nature. So I do all my own research so that I feel that I'm making the best choice for me. And anyone who's in TSW in general, it is a time thing. Like I've always said this, but there's no magic pill. You know, if you take any medicines, you're slapping a band-aid on something, and it's not necessarily giving your body the chance to do what it needs to do. If you ever really pay attention to what medications do for you, they're inhibiting something. They're suppressing reactions. That is literally what they're meant to do. And so that's not curing anything. That's not healing anything. So do you really want to suppress a reaction your body just needs to go through for a little bit of comfort? You know, I will say this when it comes back to moisturizers. Some people like this no moisture treatments or withdrawal from moisture, where they don't really shower, very little water intake. I think that borders on insanity. That's a personal opinion. Everyone is different. Those people claim that they heal so much faster with this no moisture treatment because it kickstarts their body to do what it needs to do. But ultimately, I feel when you're going through TSW, there's already so much stress that comes with it. I could not do one, I have to be out and be seen by other people, so I can't look like a leper. But two, it's so painful and uncomfortable to have your skin cracking and bleeding and oozing from trying to rebuild its moisture barrier. So for me, if it took me longer because I had to sit in a bath and I put Vaseline on to keep as much moisture in my skin, that's what I had to do. And that's what you should do too, if that's what feels most comfortable for your body. I think that's really important that TSW is looked at in a long-term thing. So do what you can do in that day to make you the most comfortable within your own skin, because it's going to be a long run. Even if you heal fast in no moisture treatment, we all cycle. So you're going to cycle in and cycle back out. I mean, there's only so much you can do about that. But I am here if you guys have questions or want to know more specifically about TSW or eczema. I highly recommend doing some research. Of course, as always, I'm big proponent of researching your information. Just don't take anyone's word for what they say, because I'm just one person. My journey is going to be different than yours. You know what I mean? But thank you guys so much for listening. I am happy to feel more myself, look more myself, and I can't wait till all these little things start to kind of go away. But you know what? I'm almost 40, so I guess I'm just in the skin that I lived in. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon.